Well Studios, and we are joined on this beautiful day in the Element Well Studios by my old buddy Don McVea. Haven't talked to you in a while, Don, with the National Federation of Independent Small Businesses, the director for Mississippi and Louisiana. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Now, let's start out with a status update regarding small businesses, because there's been a lot of economic headwinds for years now that you and I have talked about. Where are we at right now? What are you hearing from your members? How are things going for them?
Well, it's still frustrating. We still face a lot of headwinds, as you say. Inflation hasn't gone away, it's still there. And certainly something we still have to deal with. The continued labor market is still tight. Mississippi's unemployment rate is down lower than it's been, I think, in quite a while, but the labor participation rate is still very low. And so that's been a frustrating thing for small business owners to still grapple with. But all in all, they're there. They've got their doors open, and they're open for business. So there's that.
Have you heard any talk from your members, I would suspect you have, about inflation and the impacts that it's having on their business?
Yeah, the inflation rate has continued to, it goes up, it levels out, goes up. Right now, at this point, what our members are telling us is that they've been able to manage the bottom line in the sense of raising prices to deal with inflation, but they really have, over the past couple of months, we've seen repeated kind of the numbers on that of our survey continue to drop, in the sense that they've kind of stopped raising prices for goods and services. So that's really, I think, positive, because there's that the prices aren't going up anymore, but inflation is still impacting them. It's still one of their top concerns.
Well, and I'm afraid that's going to continue for a while. Chances are pretty good. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think are we now officially in Small Business Month?
We are. We are. Well, this week is, Small Business Week, I guess. I guess we get a week, but I think we should get all year, right? But we have the White House has recognized this as Small Business Week, and there's a lot of folks out there doing a lot of great things, but I guess it kind of comes down for us. If the White House wants to help small business, they really need to abandon their plans to raise the taxes, and and continue to not continue to push down policy issues that are going to make the headwinds even more difficult to deal with. Those that you continue to talk about. The business conditions aren't improving. They still hover at all-time lows, and it's just frustrating. So these tax hikes that they're talking about in DC certainly aren't a nice way to celebrate Small Business Week.
No, that's not the conversation you have during Small Business Week, I wouldn't think. That's just not conducive to anything. And that's one of the major issues. Is there anything else that just pops into your head that could be done out of Washington? And we'll get to the state level in a second, but out of Washington specifically, they could help the climate for small business, aside from, please stop talking about raising the taxes. Anything else?
I think that would be the big one at this point. Please just stop talking about it. But yeah, I think that getting out of the way, not having IRS agents chase down small business owners, and not trying to put additional burdens on small business owners at this point, it would be huge. I mean, we continue to try to overcome different hurdles, and look, big business, they do a great job because they have a lot of things going their way. It's just that small business owners keep getting thrown these different hurdles, and it's a difference in the size of the business, and how well you can recover from these hurdles that you have to face.
Well, and that's an important thing, and a lot of times that can be done at the state level with help from there. Number one, what do you think about this past session we just finished in Mississippi? How was that for small business?
Well, we're so lucky in Mississippi to have great leadership, and the governor's office, lieutenant governor, and the House Speaker. We're going to miss Speaker Gunn. in his role, we're lucky to have a very pro small business legislature in Mississippi, and it really for us it shouldn't be about what party you are. It really these issues should not be about party at all. I don't know when small business issues became such partisan issues in some cases, but we really ultimately did have a great session. No harm was done, so that's the number one thing by the legislature. So we're glad for that. But we also did see a couple bills passed that we really were glad about. The full expensing bill, which means you can, if you are purchasing equipment, you can deduct that in the tax year that you put it into service, which is a great provision, and really will hopefully encourage investment in capital investment, and hopefully help small businesses expand. We have a lot of great things going on in Mississippi, from the continued reduction of the individual income tax rate, that happened last year, and that'll continue to go down. Of course, we'd love to see it get down further, quicker, but we understand this. You have to be responsible with the budget, so we support that. But I definitely want to continue to see that rate go down. We're still in the process of that corporate franchise tax phase out. So that's happening at the corporate level even for small businesses that do file as corporations. So there's a lot of good things happening in Mississippi, and we're just really excited about the opportunity to share that with our members and share that with small business owners across the state, so they know about the good things happening.
That's good news, and I think it's telling with the overall climate as much from Washington as anything that the first positive thing you mentioned was, well, no harm was done. And that's kind of where we're at, though, isn't it? It's the first thing you hope for every morning is, let's not mess anything up that we already have, and that's an important goal, I think.
That is a really important goal, like you said, with all the things facing people just in general, much less small business owners. There's a lot of challenges in the world today, and there's a lot of hurdles coming at everybody. And so I think that if we can all do our best and do no harm, get through the day, then we're doing the right thing. So I think that small business owners in Mississippi really, they're growing their family business, they're growing their small business, and and they want a workforce, a trained workforce that comes in is ready to work, available to work, and and understands that they're going to offer, as a business owner, you're going to offer the benefits and the package that you can to be competitive, and you want folks to stay. And so in your communities, in your Main Street communities, that's what you want. You want folks to come in and work for you and stay a while. Small business owners aren't all about turnover. They don't want to have to go through that hiring process continually. So, they want a rising tide lifts all boats. And so we feel like if we can get the right things happening, which seem to be happening in Mississippi, it's exciting to see when maybe everything will go in the right direction.
Just very quickly, everything's going well here, it sounds like. How are things in Louisiana right now with our friends over there?
Well,
I threw you a loaded one. I know, Dawn. I threw you a loaded one.
You did. We are in the midst of session here. We just started a couple weeks ago, so we haven't even really gotten good and revved up. But we finish here June 8th, so we're in the thick of it. It's a fiscal session. We're supposed to be talking about tax reform, and we're doing a lot of talk, but not a lot of action. So it is election year here as well, so we'll be going through that process in the fall as well as they will be, as y'all will be in Mississippi. And so I think the election year also always has a little bit of a factor in what actually gets done. But a lot of talk. We'll get a new governor and a new legislature come next year, and maybe we'll actually take some really important steps like Mississippi has and really do some important things, as opposed to just continuing to kick the can down the road and just spend a whole bunch of money over here.
Well, and Rhino, I want to make sure that I make this perfectly clear that Dawn is not saying this, nor is she endorsing this, nor does she even imply this, but it sounds like we're winning. I mean, you stay out of it, Dawn. I'm not getting you in trouble. It's got nothing to do with Dawn, but it just, to my untrained ears, it sounds like we're winning. But that's just me. Keep up the good work, Dawn. You do such a good job for such an important thing, because small business is the foundation of the economy. So many people don't realize that sometimes, I think. That's what everything else is built on. If you don't have the small business, everything else just crumbles to the ground. So you're doing a very important job, and thank you so much for the efforts that you put into it.
Thank y'all so much. Just glad to be on with you.
Always happy to talk to you. Dawn McVea, the National Federation of Independent and Small Businesses. It's important work, I'm telling you. And probably the best way to show your appreciation, stop by a small business and drop a 20 today. Heck, drop more than a 20. I think that's fine. They're not going to turn you down. They're not going to say, no, that's too much. No, go ahead. Go see your small business and do some business with them today. We continue on SuperTalk Mississippi live in the Element Wealth studios on middays right after.